Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Thursday, the 6th of February, 2025. I am Delbridge, Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We're going to get right into our show today. We're going to look at some data, but if you bear with me just a moment, I want to introduce you to something that's recently been coming of age. We have a new product. This is not associated with the real estate, but I have a small roaster company that I have in that small at-home business. We have some nice packaging, some QR codes, obviously a story on the back. We like to have no side wasted. There's even a little note on the bottom. Now, the name of the company is delhollowcoffeeco.com if you want to find it on the internet. It's internet only. And we ship to most states. We plan on shipping to most states. Right now, we're just in Tennessee, starting out a little bit local. You put an order in, it's roasted within a day or so. We get it in a box and get it directly out to you. So you get that fresh, roasty coffee without ever having to stop by and fight with a barista or anything like that. It should be more accessible. Maybe you've got someone who's a little more homebound and the driving in town is something. Well, with Del Hollow Coffee Company here, you can have it sent directly to your door. Now, we do have, if you'll find that website, Del Hollow CoffeeCo.com, find that. It will pop up a one-time screen once every 180 days. It's going to put up a little notice in case there's any terms of condition. Just click into that. There's a little welcome there. Hit the main page. You can see we have a small variety of coffees available right now. We have this month's special is a hoodie, both zip and pullover. They're on special all month for the month of February. They're on a discount for that. Check it out. Take a look at it. We do a couple of clothing items. They are made also Rutherford County. You put your order in and it's made directly for you. So get your size right because we want to make sure we get it to fit. I think they're high quality garments. Take a look. If you're bored and you don't have anything other to do, you might try that out. Help a man out. Now let's get on with our show for today. If you like this content, please go to calldeltosell.com, find the tab that says on YouTube, click it, and it'll open up a page of QR codes. There you can use a smartphone to scan and get to the YouTube page, or you can just mouse over and click it on a PC. There you'll be able to subscribe to this little button over here and click the notification bell so that YouTube will notify you when each Friday's blog has been uploaded. Thank you. All right. Well, here we have it. We're going to look at a couple of things. We're going to go out to home builders and check some of their site and familiarize yourself with that. But we're going to start at our old faithful, which is Mortgage News Daily. It's one of my favorite sites because it just makes it so easy to come up with. I'm not a mortgage guy, and so I don't understand all there is about the bond industry, but there we have our 30-year fixed rate. You've seen me splash up the source, and you see we've certainly been higher. And we see we kind of dropped down around September. We've peaked up since then and kind of crashed a little bit in our mortgage rates twice now. Well, I want to introduce you to the National Association of Home Builders website. Is the NAHB.org. That's where you can find it. What we want to do is we want to look at news and economics. We want to look at housing economics. Okay, this brings up the blue page instead of the red page. And how much does it cost to construct a home? This by itself is where we're probably going to spend the little bit of time that we have today. But also you can come down here and see these things. We were having a little bit of some concern, I will say, earlier this week when there was talk about putting trade tariffs on different countries that border us, specifically to stem the flow of fentanyl and other issues that we don't need in our country at this time. But we get a lot of lumber from Canada. And so there's some heartburn, a little bit of concern about what that would do if we were to put tariffs on imported products, how it would affect the building of homes. And, a lumber package on a home is not insignificant. Of course, the tie, all the finished stuff that we see when it's done fits into it. But anyway, let's go back and we'll look at this survey that they had here. I'll give you the full screen and we'll click the link. All right. This is obviously, I'm not claiming credit for this. This is the NAHB, National Association of Home Builders. They are going to be biased towards the construction. Just everybody has bias. it's natural. You can't have an opinion without having something that kind of conditions it one way or another. So let's see if we can't zoom in just a little bit, make this a little easier to see on the screen so I don't have to do so much post production on this. This is the cost of constructing a home in 2024. Eric Lynch, January 23rd, 2025. Not that old. It's their latest article. It says construction costs account for 64.4% of the average price of a home, according to NAHB's most recent cost of construction survey. And they do have a link if you want to look at the detail. In 2022, it was 3.6 points lower at 60.8. So it's really not moved a great deal, even though we've had a lot of inflation. Remember, the inflation started about 21, not really in 22. And we have some key figures here. The finished lot was the second largest cost at 13.7% of the sales price. And I would submit to you that that's going to be a direct function of what county you want to live in. Because I'm doing some searching. We have some people looking for some land to build on. And let me tell you, they're not making any more of it. And around our area, a lot of it that you see at a discount or a bargainy price that might look interesting, probably, and it's just a guess, I'm not making an assertion here, but I'm guessing there's probably a difficulty with that lot one way or another, not having septic and also not having possibly the ready soil for a gravity-based system would be a big one. There are also other things. People are trying to sell more land now for commercial purposes as we grow in certain areas of Rutherford County, which is where I'm from. So that can be a part of it. So it's saying here, this is national, I'm sure, that we're looking at right here. The average builder profit, this is something I wanted to point out, is 11% in 24, up less than a percent from 10.1% in 2022. So, people think that, and I'm not going to try to defend a home builder. I'm not a home builder. I'm not going to throw shade, as the kids would say. But people have a way of thinking when something costs a lot of money that someone is getting filthy rich off of it. Well, according to the National Association of Home Builders, and mind you, they're only going to represent those members, we see that it's only 10%. And they take the risk and they buy the property and they get it all set up. I wouldn't begrudge them 10%. That seems smaller than what people get on tips these days. So construction costs were broken down into 8 major stages of construction. Interior finish at 24.1%. accounted for the largest share of construction costs, followed by major systems, rough-in at 19.2%, framing at 16.6%, exterior finishes at 13.4%, foundations at 10%, site work at 7.6%, and the final steps 6.5%, with other costs making up the difference. Now, to me, I think that's a pretty interesting article for someone to look at if you want to. And you can go back and look at the survey. There's also this blue link right here that you see that you can do the 2022 breakdowns. We want to go back up and see the latest construction survey, the cost of construction survey. So anyway, I don't want to take up a lot of your time on these little Thursday shows just to kind of keep in touch with you. But I do want to point out nothing is for free. And we have, as a human nature, we feel like every time prices go up, we kind of feel like we're being squeezed if we're the one writing the check for it. And there's something to do with it. Now, another article that I read in this, it was talking about, let me see if I can back up and find it. All right, I did find it. So let's go over and I'll show you where we located it from the main page at NAHB. We're going to scroll down till we hit the news and economics, the housing economics, just like we were before on the blue page. Now we scroll down and we look for this where it says the state and local, where it's actually going to end up pulling up a document I have already up on screen ready to go. And we want to go through and look at the new and existing homes sold by region. We'll click that up. And it's going to tell us, because we're going to have this little link here to pull up, the NHB closely tracks the most recent data of home sales in each of the 4 regions of the U.S. The information is sourced each month through the U.S. Census Bureau and the National Association of Realtors. They're reaching out to 2 other organizations. The chart below illustrates the annual rate of new home sales. And then we have it over here. Now, let's go ahead and pull that up. And here we have it. I did do a little quick adjustment in this little chart to get it zoomed up as best we can so you can see it if you're on a small screen. Now remember, this is the years over here and the existing, the new, and the new home. So these are for sale, these are sold, these are sold. So the two outer columns are the ones that are the actual sales. So we're looking for the South, which is this column right here. And we're looking at December of 24. This is the last one. Look at how the South sold numbers of existing homes compared to the rest of the nation. The South has been leading pretty well. The Midwest was back after COVID, but we see that we've actually gone still toward the top. And we were the top back in those days. We were not quite twice what they were in the South to the Midwest, but we've got that going on. Now, what this is for is the new homes for sale. Look how few that we actually have charted out here. It says 307, and these are 1,000, 307,000. So that's not a lot of homes coming up for sale. And when you see we actually sold then 423,000. So we're over here at our almost 1 3/4 million homes that we had sold in the South. That to me looks like things are still looking pretty good. So I just want to throw that chart at you. It took me a little bit of while to find it. I will edit this so you don't have to watch and wait while we do this and be a little bit quicker about it. So we appreciate you. We've got to look at our numbers for this week, and let's get started with it right after our Keep Out of Trouble with Tennessee Real Estate Commission notice. Hello, I'm Delbridge of Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you are currently unrepresented and would like to know how to compare up to 3 properties side by side and room by room, then go over to my new YouTube channel. Call Del to sell. That's 1 L and Del, no spaces. Watch the demo on Real Scout and then call me and we'll set up your exclusive ad-free account today. Well, if you look at that chart, that you can stop the video at that point and you look at it, you can see that before COVID they were doing 1 million or so homes, and the existing homes were being sold there each year. And then you see that little drop that we had in, I guess it was the 2020, and then in 2021 we see that the South jumped up there over 2 million. And now we're kind of normalizing that out. If you actually watch those numbers where they fall, the South is still doing, I think, great guns, but you get down to the difference, and it's really only about 500,000 at most difference between that pent up demand, because we had the COVID, we had COVID come in, we were selling houses, and then COVID we shut them down, and then we had the fear of missing out. We had that pent up demand, and it boosted those numbers up for the South. But you still see the South is going great guns. It's a great place to live. All right, let's look at last week's numbers. This is for the week ending the 30th of January. We had 22,369 in the opportunities. That went up over the previous period. We had 3,641 in the under contract still showing. That increased over that period. And the ratio increased as well, energy ratio, to 16. So that's the third week in a row that the ratio between the holding ons and the for sales, the availables, went up. This week, 2/6 of 25, we had 22,428 in the opportunities. That also went up again this week, and 3,709 were the under contract still showing, still holding on to those. And for the third week in a row, it has gone up. It was stable at 14th on the 16th of last month, 15th on the 23rd, 16th the 30th, and this week at 17%, the ratio between those of the holding ons, still processing those out versus the other. So we appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next week.